In terms of the intimate interactions between two species of organisms, we can see a spectrum of damage that can be done to the second organism by the first organism. With predation, the damage is absolute to the point where the prey organism actually has its fitness reduced to zero. And at that point, the prey organism is actually obtaining resources, and therefore its own fitness is enhanced by its impact, its negative impact on the other organism. With parasitism, you don't necessarily have death of the other organism, in this case the host organism. The parasite will display some level of damage to the victim organism, the host. That damage can be described as a description of the virulence displayed by the parasite organism. And the parasite organism typically will display some optimal level of virulence that coincides with a maximization of the parasite's fitness. You can also consider organisms that live symbiotically with other organisms that in fact don't harm nor help the organisms they're living with. These are organisms that are involved in a commensalistic relationship with their host organism. And so this point here can be thought of as essentially a 0 point where the commensal's presence actually doesn't change the host fitness to any degree relative to where the commensal instead were not present. However, the commensal does get something out of this relationship and displays some level of fitness that presumably is optimal, that's maximized at the point where in fact the commensal is not harming the host at all nor helping the host. We can also consider the impact of symbiotic organisms that are mutualistic. Here, the impact on the host is actually positive. You can think of it as a negative impact on the victim organism. Again, as with the commensalism and the parasitism, there's probably some degree of impact that's optimal for the mutualistic symbiont, whereas in fact, if the impact is too negative, that might have the effect of impacting negatively the fitness of the mutual. On the other hand, if the mutual is not displaying a sufficient impact, that might reflect the mutualistic symbiont having difficulty actually replicating.